And so here we have certified seed potatoes, already sprouted. Now, as an experiment today, I cut one in half. Technically, I could have cut it again because every one of these eyes with the growth is a potato plant. So I just cut this in half because it's easier to see, and I've let it sit out overnight so it gets dry on the bottom. Now there are people who cut them like this and then plant them right away. My experience is that quite often they rot. So this is how I do it. So we have a couple of those. This one came already cut. So we're going to plant him and then, or her, and then we've got whole potatoes. And like I said, technically, if I cut this, we could have we could have about 6 potato plants out of this. These will grow, if you want, they're going to be smaller, obviously, with the little chits like that. But these should grow into nice sized potato plants. We're going to plant them, Chris has dug his hole 6 inches, around there. We're going to plant them
there
in
it
the
is,
hole.
yep.
Yeah, and then cover them with approximately 3 inches of soil and just tamp it down. Okay, we're not going to step on it or walk on it. My rule of thumb is to never walk in the garden or walk on the rows, or if I'm planting anything, I don't dig it in with my feet. I always use my hands and be relatively cautious. So that's all he's going to do, and then he's going to watch them grow.
How far apart should we have them? How much room do they need?
Probably about 8 inches, maybe.
8 inches apart.
If we can, yeah, 6 to 8 inches, say.
Okay.
Depends, you know. These are Kennebec potatoes. These are a big midterm white potato, really big. Good for, I believe, baking and boiling. I use them for everything.
Now, did you buy them in from like a grocery store or harbor store seed catalog?
These are seed catalog potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can buy them in the grocery store. I think, oh, the one at, no, it wasn't the grocery. I think
Home Harbor, whatever.
Yeah, I think he's got them. I think Dean's got them, but I'm not sure what he's got.
Gotcha.
So I just prefer Kennebecs for me.
Yeah, fair enough. But they also sort of have those eyes. Those eyes are going to be
that's the key.
eyes are going to be the plant.
That's right.
Okay. Well, let's get to planting here. So we're going to pause us and get started on the planting.
Habit for me. Okay.
There we go. We're going to start her right at the beginning here.
Make sure you plant with the eyes up, so put the biggest eye up. That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. Now watch you don't step on your other row of potatoes. Put your tiny little feet in the potato.
Go the other side then?
Well, you know.
Yeah, we're right in there.
It's okay, they're potatoes. It's not a...
They're a hardy vegetable, right?
It's not like you're planting $80 peonies or something. Oh, they're going to be great, those potatoes. These ones probably will too, you know.
So it's covered up with 3 inches of soil.
Yeah. Love digging in the dirt.
Definitely had a good time, you know, tearing up the garden. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Flipping it over and all that. Let's get this. So we planted the potatoes. Put 3 inches of soil over top of them. I had to take some from the end because, you know, I moved it all down. And now we're going to pat it all down with our hands, just to solidify up, I guess, a little bit. Now, is there any scientific reason why we're doing this? Is it just...
Well, just in case if anything does grow up and the crows can get it, it's going to be gone.
Keeps the crows out of it.
Yeah.
It's not like it creates like a little incubator or anything like that.
I don't think so.
No, okay. Just what you do. Okay. Oh.
too much because they got to come through, right?
So I should just pound it down. Yeah. We're not fighting with the ground, is what you're saying. Just give it a friendly goodbye tap. Okay, see you later. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We just had our potatoes dug right there, and we're gonna plant some zucchini here. And Chris is gonna give us a rundown how we're gonna plant zucchini from seeds. So, yeah, what am I gonna do here, Chris?
Okay, you're going to build a couple little hills here, and I don't know how big to say. You'll see in the video when we get it done. And you're going to just hill it up, and then you'll plant probably 3 seeds per hill. If you plant any more, you're going to have an awful lot of zucchini. And you need to plant your rows or your hills fairly far apart because zucchini vines really grow. Now the thing about zucchini is you got to keep an eye on them. They get really big leaves. So keep an eye on when they start to fruit, because a lot of times they can get out of hand and you can end up with zucchini like this. They get huge. Or you can just get your nice little normal zucchini. So you got to keep an eye on when they're starting to fruit up. Hopefully these will fruit up before the first frost. If there's going to be a frost, you better be aware, like starting in August, you want to start keeping a really close eye on the weather. If there's a frost, it's going to kill them all immediately. There's no ifs, ands, or buts with zucchini leaves. So it's very unforgiving. So that's basically it, and then we'll just carry on keeping them watered and taken care of. We planted the potatoes. We don't need to water them just yet for a while. You don't need to. The soil's wet. They'll do just fine the way they are. So we'll plant the zucchini in our nice wet soil here, and it doesn't take long before they start coming up.
So how far apart are we going to make the hills here? 2 feet, 3 feet, you think? Or?
Yeah, so I would say one could be here, where I am here, and another one probably here. If you wanted to go this way, or you could do one there and one over there. It depends on which way you want to go.
Here we are. We have built our 2 zucchini beds. So they're about 2.5, 3 feet apart, 3 to 4 inches high. I'm going to take a step back here. You can sort of see it. There we go. Now we're going to plant them about a knuckle deep, and we're going to tap it down to solidify where we just planted it. So here we go.
Crows don't care.
So the crows don't get it. Thank you, Chris. Here we are at our bed, and I have our seeds, and we're going to be planting today. So the first thing I did was I made a little plan on a sheet of paper on where I'm thinking I'm going to put everything, so that I know where they're going to be, and I can sort of plan how they're going to grow. So I'll show you what I did. I just did a couple of lines, and I just wrote down. Okay, it's messy because it's mine. Where I'm going to put everything. So I got my peas here, and I'm going to put some carrots, maybe do a row of Swiss chard, and then do some beets, some lettuce, so onions, lettuce, and some bush beans. Now, talking with Chris, I have my different seeds here, and on the back is sort of the best thing you want to, on the back is sort of what you want to follow. So I'll show you here. So for the peas, on the back it says 1 seed every 5 centimeters, 2 inches deep in rows, 2 feet apart. And so I'm only going to do 1 row because I'm not eating a whole lot of peas. So I'm just going to do 1 row right there. I got a mix of some seeds and some seed tape. Now seed tape, to understand, is quite easy because it comes in a tape and you just lay it in the ground. So pull it out. Look at that. Just a tape. We're just going to lay it down flat. Like that's how easy is that, right? Like that's my thought. So I have carrots and onions, and I'm going to have some seed tape, and I have some beans. Not beans. Beets. I have beets, which are going to have some seed tape and seeds themselves. So we're going to see how that goes. So general rule is you want to follow the package, but here the general rule is you want to go about a knuckle deep for everything, right? So the first knuckle. So I'm gonna be reading the packages, and here we go. All right, so I don't know if you saw, but Chris gave me some expert advice with the peas. Just take your thumb finger, get it in, knuckle deep, put the seed in there and cover it over. Quick tip, okay. So I'm gonna prepare 2 rows, but I'm gonna do 1 row now, and maybe I'll do another row in a week or so, because I'm not gonna eat that many carrots, and I want to spread them out a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna do 1 row right now, and I'll do another row after, a little later. Yeah, if we take a closer look at the seed tape here, you can see the seeds are there, hey? So that's our carrots. I'm going to do a row of Swiss chard at the front here. So let's take a look at our package here. So our Swiss chard here says, cover seed to a depth of 1 centimeter, rows 45 centimeters apart. Well, I'm not gonna be having 2 rows. I'm just gonna have 1 row. So 1 centimeter. So I'm gonna do the finger push method. So I'm gonna dip my finger in up to the knuckle, pop in the seed, and cover it over. So. Okay, this is Swiss chard, and now the next part of my bed I'm going to do some green onions and some beets. Green onions and beets. So I have 2 types of beets. Beet tape, some beet seeds. Now, what do we got here? Rows should be 4 centimeters apart and seed planted 1 centimeters deep. About 1 inch apart, pressed down, covering soil. Now the tape says, prepare 1/2 inch deep, centimeters. Tear the strip and unroll into rows. Ooh, water the seed tape thoroughly, then cover the soil with soil and water thoroughly again. Maybe I should get some water on those carrots. Okay, 2 rows, maybe some short rows. So I don't need a lot of. I'm gonna make 2 short rows. So I don't need a lot of beets. Next up, we got our onions. So I got seed tape for our onions. Our seed tape says, make shallow rows 6 millimeters deep and 30 centimeters apart. Water the seed tape thoroughly, cover with soil, and then thoroughly again. Okay, so shallow rows, 6 millimeters deep. So that's gonna be less than a knuckle. So, okay. Okay, again, I'm gonna wait to water those until do the other tape. Now I'm gonna move on to, we're gonna do our bush beans on the far side and another few rows of carrots. Lettuce, excuse me, we're gonna do our bush beans. I don't eat a lot of beans. I'm only gonna do one row of beans, and I'm gonna do the rest lettuce because I eat a lot of lettuce. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about doing a plan and think about how much you're gonna eat. I don't eat a lot of bush beans, so I'm gonna do a few, but I eat quite a bit of lettuce. So I'm gonna save most of this third for lettuce. I'm gonna plant them one row at a time so that I don't have all this lettuce that's gonna go bad on me. So let's take a look at what the bush beans say here. So plant late May, we're there. Sow in rows, 2 feet apart, 10 centimeters apart in the row. So 4 centimeters deep, well pressed and down. So yeah, 10 centimeters apart. I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to push it down in. And the lettuce, here you go. Seed depth 1.3 centimeters. Spacing 1 inch apart. Row spacing 45 centimeters apart. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I think that's what I'm gonna do today. Next week I'm gonna plant my next row of onions and another row of lettuce. And yeah, now I'm gonna water these seed tapes thoroughly and then cover them up and water them again. So I'm gonna turn on the water. Okay, I hope you have good luck planting your garden, and yeah, I'll talk to you next time.